Рис. Привычный для каждого из нас продукт, которым мы наслаждаемся каждый день. Но задумывались ли вы хоть раз, что даже у риса есть своя темная сторона? Ежедневно в России скапливаются тысячи тонн рисовой шелухи, неперерабатываемого отхода, который буквально засыпает наши города. Проблема переработки рисовой шелухи – крайне важный вопрос современности, которым прямо сейчас занимаются российские ученые из МГУ. Например, Роман Новоторцев, химик, научный сотрудник кафедры физической химии химического факультета МГУ, а также соавтор таких научных работ, как «Переверни бумажку». Как я должен ее читать вот так вот, если ты мне ее показываешь? Мы это не запишем вообще до вечера. Так, все, давай с вами словами как-нибудь скажу. Без этого слова просто давай. Химик. Просто химик. Роман Новоторцев. Все, подпишем. Так. Из МГУ. Например, химик Роман Новоторцев. Ну, а пока наши города засыпают рисовой шелухой, мы все с нетерпением ждем и надеемся, когда Роман, наконец, что-нибудь придумает. С вами был Иван Унылый, программа «Позитивная Россия». Следите за нашими новостями.
Это уже какой-то фильм ужасов получается. Давайте лучше я вам расскажу обо всем не спеша, с чувством, толком и с наукой. Проблема с утилизацией рисовой шелухи действительно существует. Только в России ежегодно образуется порядка 200 тысяч тонн рисовой шелухи, и от года в год эта цифра будет только расти. По своей природе рисовая шелуха состоит в основном из кремнезема и углерода. Кремнезем – это минеральная составляющая, такая же, как кварцевый песок, который мы можем увидеть на пляже. Из-за этого рисовая шелуха практически не горит, а если мы будем ее зарывать в землю, например, как картофельную ботву, пройдут долгие годы, прежде чем она сгниет. А если мы будем ее сжигать, то образуется большое количество углекислого газа и взвесь частичек кремнезема. Два этих фактора очень негативно воздействуют как на человека, так и на окружающую среду. Именно с этой проблемой к нам обратились промышленники Краснодарского края. Как переработать рисовую шелуху без ущерба экологии? Химики могут все. Химики могут быть кем угодно. Я, например, член Союза кузнецов России. Первоначально мы интересовались историей, ездили на ролевые игрушки, ну и от пластикового оружия к уже железному начинаешь интересоваться, и дальше начинаешь интересоваться, как это делали. Я же химик, я же могу разобраться, в чем фишка, почему один там клинок лучше, чем другой. Ну а дальше нужно попробовать. А потом уже доходит до того, что у тебя своя кузня, и ты там экспериментируешь. Как переработать рисовую шелуху? Сжигание не годится для технологии. Порядка 200 тысяч тонн рисовой шелухи в почве она может лежать долгие годы без ущерба экологии. Надо больше спать.
Сон, Роман, это такой же важный элемент работы ученого, как эксперименты. Когда мы спим, мы не просто отдыхаем, мы структурируем все то, что изучили за день. Ответ близко, Роман. Нужно только упорядочить все элементы. Идеи повсюду. Они кружат, никак не останавливаются. Но моя главная идея пришла ко мне именно во сне.
Обуглить. Обугливание – это очень эффективно. По сути дела, нам нужно взять нашу шелуху и нагреть ее при высокой температуре в печи без доступа воздуха. При обугливании улетают практически безвредные компоненты, такие как вода, не нанося никакого урона природе. В результате такого обугливания мы получаем золу, которую дальше можно разделить на два основных компонента – кремнезем и углерод. Каждый из этих компонентов чрезвычайно востребован в промышленности при производстве огромного количества продуктов. И сейчас по этой технологии в Краснодарском крае построен целый завод. Есть научные исследования, есть и завод. Рисовая шелуха может стать еще полезней, когда мы сделаем из нашего угля батарейку. У угля, полученного из рисовой шелухи, большая площадь поверхности, поэтому мы можем делать батарейки с большим запасом энергии. В результате из бесполезного отхода рисовой шелухи мы получили два ценных продукта – кремнезем и углерод. А из углерода сделали батарейку. Так наука создает зеленую энергетику.
نتمنى أن تكون بلدي مصر بلد قوية ومتطورة في كل حاجة إن شاء الله. مرسى مطروح بلد سياحية، وكلمة مرسى مطروح مرسى متروك، يعني متروك من غير جبال. مرسى هي مراسي كتير، مرسى وطول عمرها على الساحل الأبيض المتوسط. فكرني مدينتنا بالأحجار الكريمة اللي تم العثور عليها ولم يتم استخدامها. لو تم استخدامها بطريقة أفضل تبقى حياة كريمة. وأنا كأقدم صياد شفت مواقف كثيرة في البحر، وإن شاء الله اللي جاي يكون أفضل من كده. وأنا طول عمري صياد، نشأت من سن الطفولة في الصيد لغاية دلوقتي. وجدي كان الله يرحمه بيصحيني في الفجر ياخدني معاه وعلمني المهنة دي، وأصبحت متوارث فيها، وأغلبية أهلها كلهم صيادين، وعيشتنا كلها على الصيد. احنا لازم عندنا العادات والتقاليد لازم نحافظ عليها. والنهارده اصبحت في تقدم ونمشي على العالم الحديث والتكنولوجيا اللي قاعده اللي داخله في البلد، وان شاء الله بتوسع، وان شاء الله اللي جاي يكون افضل. انا عارف ان محافظه مطروح ومصر بصفه عامه هيتعمل فيها مولد كهرباء محطه نوويه للطاقه الكهربائيه في مدينه الضبعه. ده تطور جامد، واحنا من زمان منتظرين اللحظه دي، ودي من 50 سنه او نص قرن احنا منتظرين، والنهارده ابتدى فيه. وده هيجلب علينا السياحه وفرصه العمل وكتله سكنيه وتحسين في البنيه التحتيه. المحطه النوويه للطاقه هتكون اكبر محطه في افريقيا، ودي تجلب كثير من السياح من انحاء العالم لبلدنا، وتكون بلدنا افضل، والسمك هيكثر في جنبيها، واحنا هيحتاجوا هم السمك ده. ودي حاجه ما فيش حاجة في الدنيا أحسن من الصيد، والأفضل إن نحن نفضل إن عيشتنا كلها في الصيد، لأن الصيد ده متعة ورياضة، وإحنا معتمدين إن شاء الله على المحطة النووية اللي يكون أفضل بالنسبة للصيادين ولمهنة الصيد وللعالم أكمل. أما لو نفتكر اللحظات السعيدة في حياتي، نفتكر رحلتي للصيد في روسيا، بس مش عشان للصيد، أنا اشتركت فيها وكسبتها، وشفت زيارة اللي هي للمفاعل النووي اللي موجود على الطبيعة، وشفت الناس اللي عايشة فيها بسلام، وشفت الأحياء فيها من الأسماك ومن الطير ومن الحيوانات اللي موجودة في داخل المفاعل، وادتني ثقة في الأمان أن المحطة دي نتمنى أنها تكون عندي. وإن شاء الله نتمنى أن نشوفها في حياتي قبل ما نموت، أن تكون المحطة دي موجودة عندنا. وجيت هنا ونحكي وبنقول الكلام ده لأحفادي وأولادي والناس اللي نعرفها كلها، وديت بها في محاضرات في المراكز تجمعات البدو، ان ما تخافوش من المحطة دي، محطة أمان، شفتها على الطبيعة، يعني فيها كل وسائل الأمان والراحة. محطتنا أكبر وتقدم وأمنا في المنطقة بتاعتنا، وأمان في البحر وعلى الأسماك، وعشان كده إحنا حنفضل نصطاد، وإحنا وأولادنا وأحفاد أحفادنا زي ما كنا نصطاد. نتمنى أن تكون منطقتنا أفضل منطقة في العالم، عشان الأجيال القادمة تعيش في حياة أفضل، وعشان أحفادنا وعيالنا يعيشوا في حياة كريمة أكثر من اللي إحنا عايشين فيها.
Начали.
Случился взрыв водородного баллона, в результате которого погибли люди. Водород в качестве топлива, да, он уже начал рассматриваться более тщательно, как бы и с такой опаской.
Есть проблема изменения климата в целом. А это связано в первую очередь с тем, что в атмосферу нашей планеты выбрасывается достаточное количество СО2, и этот газ способен аккумулироваться в атмосфере. Вот, то есть это эффект такой микроволновки, можно сказать.
Ну, у нас в любом случае всегда существовали парниковые газы, которые делают возможным, в принципе, жизнь на Земле. Однако за последние несколько лет эти газы, они становятся избыточными, и за счет этого температура средняя на Земле, она повышается, что сопровождается большим количеством каких-то катаклизмов, природных катастроф.
Большой процент ледников может растаять, повысится уровень Мирового океана, и банально площадь суши на планете уменьшится, и также могут возникнуть какие-то такие условия некомфортные для жизни не только людей, но и всего живого. То есть это и есть необратимые уже изменения. Ну, на самом деле, я бы сказал, что именно нефтяная отрасль и является причиной, наверное, вот этого глобального потепления в первую очередь, потому что глобальная отрасль производит углеводородное топливо, которое сжигают, и, собственно, это является причиной выбросов углекислого газа и других парниковых газов. Однако, если производить какими-то низкоуглеродными способами водород и вот как раз способом, которым мы предлагаем, то можно добиться вообще нулевых выбросов парниковых газов в атмосферу.
И вот как раз-таки СО2 считается таким одним из основных вкладов в парниковый эффект, точнее, в создание как раз-таки угрозы парникового эффекта на Земле.
С одной стороны, сам по себе водород, если мы возьмем, будем использовать как топливо, и будет выделяться только вода на выхлопе вместо СО2, то с точки зрения его производства это не всегда чистый процесс.
Но на самом деле на каждом шаге у нас происходят выбросы парниковых газов.
Водород — это один из альтернативных источников энергии. И также в сравнении с другими источниками энергии водород дает таки намного больше тепла, поэтому использование водорода как вот носителя, да, энергии, оно дает нам больше преимуществ как и при его добыче, при его сжигании и при потреблении, да, то есть уже в промышленности.
Поэтому мы пытаемся найти решение, в том числе использование водорода как чистого источника энергии.
Суть нашего метода заключается в том, что мы планируем совместить нефтянку и, собственно, производство водорода.
Да, то есть при нашем использовании нашего метода мы используем как основу метод внутрипластового горения. В основе этого метода лежит закачка воздуха. Ну, например, представим две скважины, в одну закачивается воздух, происходит инициация горения, то есть какие-то высокие температуры, горит какое-то небольшое количество нефти, находящееся в пласте. Продуктами реакции являются газы. Мы можем наблюдать как раз как продукты реакции — это водород. И как раз за счет подбора оптимальных условий, скорости закачки, температур, которые там могут быть в пласте, количество, соотношение пара и метана, находящегося в резервуаре, если мы говорим о газоконденсатных месторождениях. За счет этого мы можем получить большее количество водорода, если мы подобрали все правильно.
И поскольку это как бы происходит под землей, выбросы, возникающие при конверсии углеводородов в водород, вот эти все компоненты можно оставлять под землей, добывая на поверхность только чистый водород.
В этом процессе практически нет минусов. Это эксперимент по поджогу метана, достаточно необычная штука, потому что практически в мире этим никто не занимался, но наша задача именно в том, чтобы понять, а как мы можем зажечь метан, чтобы он в нашем случае в пласте мог дальше вот это внутрипластовое горение продолжить, то есть инициировать и, собственно, вот это тепло разнести по всему пласту, что нам и нужно, чтобы повысить температуру, и только при этой температуре мы сможем получить водород.
А какие есть нюансы, в чем сложность?
В том, что не горит.
Это темно, поэтому...
Погнали дальше.
Открываю.
Я все то же самое делаю, тоже расход.
Метан. Открываю. Открываю метан. Метан открыт. Все открыто.
Считай до 30 и запускай.
Десять. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Искра пошла.
इंग्लिश पढ़ना तो सबको आता है. Okay, so today we have with us from the company Energy of the Future. I have mentioned now we are doing this in collaboration with Rosatom and Energy of the Future. They are a science outreach company of Russia, and we have with us Alexander Babikov from Russia, and he want to tell something.
Yes. Hello, dear colleagues. Hello, dear, not colleagues, dear students, dear friends. Dear friends, yes. So it's not my first time of visiting India, and of course, every time I visited India, I really enjoy it, and with your hospitality, with your traditions, with your culture, with your food, cuisine. So for me, it's really a holiday when I visited India. And this time, we would like to, and we demonstrated you some science films. It's not just films like fiction. It's real science and documentary, and we don't have any performers there. It's real scientists who worked in Russia in our days, and they provide some experiments, they have some tasks, and they are trying to solve them based on their science background. And what's really important with these films, for you, for example, and for me and for you, as far as I see, So you can understand and you can check by your own eyes about how science help us to resolve really, really important issues and important questions. For example, from Russia, as you can see it, and of course, I think you have some issues in face of India, and I think Indian scientists helped to resolve these issues. Of course, we saw and we demonstrated one more film for you. It's about construction of real nuclear power plant in Egypt, in Matruh province, El Daba nuclear power plant. And we demonstrated you how this nuclear power plant affects people's life in the region. So you saw a fisherman who worked in this province. He visited a lot of Russian nuclear power plants, and he understands that it's real safe technology, green technology, and right now he became some kind of ambassador of Russian nuclear industry, and he provides some training, some lectures to his friends, to his relatives, to his citizens of his small town. He explained whatever he sees with his own eyes, and all this information he provides in an effective and most efficient way. So, one more time, if you remember the first film, it was devoted to the rice husk, how we can recycle it, and it was a task that was proposed to decide to Russian chemist Roman, and I would like to emphasize and I would like to highlight, you saw that Roman had there is no solutions for him for a long time. When he slept, he got the idea how can he recycle this rice husk into batteries, and it was a parallel between him and famous Russian chemist Dmitry Mendeleev, who invented periodic tables, yes, as you know. And it was, as you know, his information, his idea, Dmitry Mendeleev got when he was sleeping. And here was this some kind of parallel like this, so he is sleeping and Dmitry Mendeleev was sleeping, and it was invention that became to him during the night. So what do I want to say? That if you work hard to resolve any science problem or any other issues you have, if you work hard to resolve it, so in any case, you will get the correct and properly solution to resolve this issue. So thank you very much for coming. If you have any questions, I am ready to answer. And of course, we have a special guest for you, Honorable Sir.
So thank you, Alex. And along with him, we also have with us Dr. A.P. Jayaraman sir. So please, I'd like to invite you here. Please give him a big round of applause for coming here, for joining us. Thank you so much, sir. We are honored to have you here again at Nehru Science Center. So, a very brief introduction, as if you have already attended any event in Nehru Science Center, you might have seen sir. So he's a friend of Nehru Science Center, and he is a nuclear scientist. He has worked in Bhabha Atomic and Research Center for 40 years. And he is a science communicator, very, very popular science communicator, and he's working in this field for more than 60 years. Can you guess? He is above 80 and he is still taking science to millions. That's what a science communicator does. And sir, I'd like to hand over the mic to you, and the students, I request you can ask questions. This is a discussion sessions. Okay, so starting, who is going to ask the first question? say something first, because they are very shy to ask questions.
All beautiful minds here, girls and boys. You saw the Russian film. Russia is part of every civilized mind today. Without the periodic table, you cannot think of anything. Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev, periodic table, hydrogen to organizon, that is part of your living culture. No periodic table, no science. That's the beauty of it. And today, we are after energy. No energy, no life. When there is no energy, you are dead. To live, we need energy. We can't burn carbon and make energy. We have to burn uranium. And burning uranium is a very different story. Historically, yesterday, December 2, 1942, the first nuclear reactor worked in Chicago. And we are here today to speak about nuclear power. Now, nuclear power is the only solution available to humanity, you, your children, and your grandchildren. If you want to live, you have to live with nuclear power. And Russia is one of the leading countries, not only in space sciences, but in nuclear power, and exporting nuclear power. Egypt you saw over here. We have Russian nuclear power plants in Kalpakam, near that. So there is very good relationship with the love from Russia. So Russian collaboration with in the nuclear field is exceptionally strong. That's my word for it. Now think of the periodic table, think of nuclear power, think of anything on science, space. You have the Russian leadership over there.
We have prizes for it. We have goodie bags. Those who is going to ask questions.
Yeah.
Anyone? Yes.
Shoot your question.
Good day, sir. How was the global nuclear industry changed in safety standards after the Chernobyl accident which happened in Russia? Safety measures, like how it improved?
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl, yeah.
You want to answer? Okay. Now, accident.
Can I sit? Yeah, okay, thank you.
So Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that's what is remaining in your mind. Right? And how many of you are against radiation? How many of you are against radiation? No radiation at all.
Raise your hands.
Raise your hands. Anti, against nuclear power, against radiation, against atomic energy. Raise your hands up. Yes. Yeah, right. Let them raise their hand. Okay. You are afraid of radiation, right? You are afraid of radiation. That's called a radiophobia. Just think of one calculation, simple arithmetic. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, uranium plutonium bombs, they killed, let us say, 2 lakh people on the spot. Very sad. Tragedy of the highest order. Fine? So we think this as a dark day in human history. 2 lakh people. Let us imagine that those who died were at the age of 35. They could have lived 30 years more if the bomb were not dropped. That means 35 years of every dead person was lost. That is what radiation has done. Very bad, sad. Now think of the number of cancerous people in the world. 2 million people every year. To every 2 million person, we give 20 to 30 to 40 years of life to live. Radiation gives 30 to 40 years of extra life when you are declared dead by the doctor. The moment the doctor says cancer, you are in trouble. But you must remember that over the period, we are giving huge life extension. So if you weigh Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the life given, Hiroshima and Nagasaki will pale into insignificance. We should think in terms of numbers. So the future, don't be afraid of a bad dream of the past. You are young. You have to think of your future. And radiation is the only solution. Managing radiation effectively, successfully, and in a controlled, all that means is control. Everything should be controlled. If you go on drinking water, say 10 liters per day, it's bad. Without water, you cannot live. We are all radioactive. I have potassium 40 in my body. I have uranium in my body. I have radium in my body. And all around, all this wood, everything, carbon 14 is right in our body. It is in the wood over there. So we live in a world of radiation. But today, science and technology and nuclear technology has made radiation so controllable. The evils have been removed and the goodness has been brought out. That is the story of nuclear power.
And one small addition from my side with your question and about radiation. How do you think? Who created the radiation? Who? And no, who? Uranium. Uranium created the radiation. No, when? And who did it? Yes, thank you very much for your question. Yes. Yes. The question is, yes, how do you think, from where we got the radiation?
So uncontrollable reaction that is take around
Uncontrollable reaction where?
Of uranium in Chernobyl that happened. How?
No, I'm talking about radiation in general.
So in general, you are saying that how the radiation is created, right?
Yes. By whom?
So it can be a human fault as well. It can be a
by human.
Yeah, it can be a human fault per se in Chernobyl. If you say
so you think the radiation was created in Chernobyl?
It is there, everybody. We know that it is there, everybody.
So there was no radiation before Chernobyl?
No, it was there, but the reaction that took place shook the whole world. So the main concern is how would you remove those phobia from the whole world that nuclear energy is a clean source of energy. And the main question is, as India is progressing towards the nuclear energy and more, our energy dependency is gonna increase by 10-fold in the next 10 years. My main question is, if we have solar, if we have the wind, if we have the other renewable energy resources, why we should move towards the nuclear energy?
Solar energy is based on rare earths. We need enormous amount of rare earths to produce solar power. We can have wind power. We again need a mechanism for that. But the base load can be met by none of the renewable energy sources. You need high peak, permanent, fixed power over which you can have peaks of renewable energy. So basic load, 40% of which is being given by carbon, anthracite, lignite. These are the sources today. So the base power can be met only by a strong power, and that is either nuclear or coal. The coal which we have today is a replenishable, it's not replenishable. In 30 years, it will burn out. Our civilization will burn out. There is no option except to go for uranium. And not only uranium, uranium also will get exhausted. Then you will have to go for thorium, whereas uranium 235 we will use, then uranium 238 we will use, then we will use plutonium. Thereafter we will convert all uranium 232 into uranium thorium 232 into uranium 233, and the breeder reactors will be our future. The faster we can reach to the breeder reactors, the better for our civilization. You should have power next year, not after 20, 35 years. And if you are dependent on solar, solar will help you as a walking stick, but that is not the primary source of power for any civilization. if you want furnaces to burn, if you have large chemical industries to operate, you need huge amount of power. That power can be base, that's called the base load power, which can be had only from a strong source like coal or nuclear.
But sir, I heard the interview of former coal secretary. Okay, one question is, I'm so sorry.
Good afternoon. So, I have a question with regards to India's goal of with nuclear power. India's goal is by 2047 we want to have produced 100 gigawatts of power using nuclear energy, but currently we have a capacity of only about 10 gigawatts. So, what steps are being taken to achieve that goal?
This has been released by Prime Minister yesterday in the nuclear renaissance for the country. At the moment, we have a set of reactors which are pressurized heavy water reactors. And now we will be going for breeder reactors. And there is a new generation of reactors, the generation 4 reactors, which are called SMRs, small modular reactors. So we will be having a huge collection of small modular reactors. That's what we are thinking now. It is for the technologists to design. All that you should remember is over 450 to 500 reactors are working over the world today. We have a huge amount of experience on that. 10% of the nuclear power of the country, power of the world is met by nuclear. And nuclear technology has advanced to different levels in different countries. We have the Canadian model, the French model, the Russian model, the Indian model. So different countries have evolved different technologies. And the best solution will be applied for reaching our target goal for a Vikasit Bharat.
What's your name? Anirudh. A goodie bag for you. Any questions? Okay, wait. She raised her hand first.
We'll need a lot of nuclear energy for this. What about the nuclear waste which is generated? The large amounts which will be really harmful. How will we get disposed of that?
Yes. Nuclear waste is a matter of public debate today. Anything you do, you create waste. When I eat food, I create food waste. When you go to hospital, I make hospital waste. Hospital waste is managed. Municipality is managing biological waste. Nuclear waste, there are different methods of doing that. Small, low-level radioactive waste, which we decontaminate and we dispose it off in low ground burials. The problem which we are now concerned is the high-level waste from the operation of nuclear reactors. There are several technologies. One of the best technologies which is being first today is to concentrate and immobilize the waste in glass matrix. So the radioactive waste will be fused with the glass, and that glass will be kept huge tunnels underground. Now you may wonder, if you put something underground, will it not move around, come in your drinking water and come out? Now, long ago, once upon a time, in South Africa, a natural nuclear reactor worked. No human beings. The uranium, water came, reactor operated. That is called the Oklo reactor. Today, when we visited the Oklo reactor, the radioactive waste has hardly moved 1 meter over 2 million years. So the safety and security of keeping radioactive waste mixed in glass, immobilized and used in abandoned mines, old mines, mines which we are not going to use, uranium mines, coal mines, gold mines in Kolar. We will keep it over there in geological formations where it is safe, absolutely safe. We have proof of that. So that is the ultimate disposal which we are thinking of after engineering processing, mixing it in borosilicate glass, making it immobile. It will not reach out with the water. So we'll contain it, concentrate it, and keep it in a safe place. That's one of the present methods. Of course, we can think of shooting it into space. I mean, there are several other possibilities being thought of today. But we have the technology to go ahead with nuclear power. Waste management is not a problem facing the nuclear industry today. Which class are you? You are worried about radioactive waste, eh? Don't worry. Come.
Is there any cure of radiation? As we all know about Hiroshima Nagasaki attack, so newborn babies still who are getting born now, so they are having a effect in their physical body that someone is born blind or they are deaf, they don't have one hand, one leg. So is there any cure for that?
Now, individual stories, which are called anecdotes, and the media will give wide publicity, which is abnormal. If 10,000 people were born, 9,999 people were not defective, that doesn't make news. What comes out as news is that one abnormal event. Of course, it is a matter for investigation for the scientific community to find out what was the causative mechanism for this. Definitely we study it. We also know there have been genetic mutations which radiation can produce. But as a whole, the World Council of Radiation has studied extensively for the several years after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And there have been no significant malformations in the human DNA as on today. That's very clear. Now, if you look at Fukushima reactors, there was an accident in Japan. Immediately there was radiation coming out, and the plants, vegetables, all of them got contaminated. So today we have contaminated the decontaminated the soil, removed all the waste, and the peas which are born, which are created in the Fukushima region are now being sold in London market, and it is being eaten by people with great delight. So even if some accident happens, the ill effects of accidents can be eliminated by engineering technology. So nothing to worry about it. Abhinav, yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Actually, I have a very simple question. I come from the commerce background, not much into the science. But the simple question, like, why nuclear power? There are many sources of energy. When we compare all those as compared to the cost, the advantages, disadvantages, why nuclear power? Why we prefer nuclear power among all those?
Now, can you give me the cost of 1 unit of power from coal, 1 from solar, 1 from nuclear? What are the, as a BCom student, to produce 1 unit of power by burning coal, by solar energy, by nuclear power? How do you compare that? And coal is not replenishable. So the cost and value and price of power at any point of time depends upon technology. If there is no, today 1 kilogram of coal may cost 10 rupees. After 2 years, it may cost 1,000 rupees per kilogram. Then you can't burn diamond, you can't burn graphite. So coal-based power will depend upon the cost of coal, right? And coal will run out in 25 to 30 years. What will you do? When there is no coal, you cannot compare with that. You can compare only an apple with an apple, not with an orange. So nuclear power cannot be compared with this because its availability is over a long period. The total, and I am not saying nuclear power by fission is the ultimate solution. The ultimate solution of nuclear power is by fusion. We are going to create an artificial sun on Earth. Hydrogen atoms will combine to form helium, and that is a fusion reaction. Until we succeed in fusion, we have to go through uranium, thorium route. So what science can give you ultimately is not coal, and you need not compare with anything once you are able to use hydrogen to produce helium, and you are creating artificial suns wherever you want. That will give you the enormous amount of energy. comparison between different forms is absolutely has no validity in an industrial civilization. Shoot.
Sir, how the nuclear power plant shut down safely in emergency?
Pardon? Repeat.
How the nuclear power plant shut down safely in emergency?
Oh, absolutely no problem. Stopping, like stopping your car. Put your brake. Drop cadmium. All the neutrons will be eaten up. Instantly it will stop. Stopping the nuclear reactor has never been a problem. Starting the reactor has been a problem, not stopping. Just drop cadmium. Cadmium will eat up all the neutrons. No chain reaction will take place. Instantly in a jiffy it will stop.
Good afternoon, sir. So, as you said, our generation, our next generation, and after that generation can be relied on the nuclear power plant. But has the humankind, like not only India, like all the other countries, has been able to consider the utmost potential of the nuclear part? Has they been given the chance to be the greatest or take the utmost power of the nuclear energy? Can we rely on the nuclear energy on all the time?
Yes. I'll give one example. Middle East, which has the richest source of petroleum, they have started building the first nuclear reactor. Those who are rich in coal and rich in petroleum, they know the days of coal and petroleum have gone. We have no salvation from that. We need to go nuclear. That is why the International Atomic Energy Agency said that nuclear energy is the only option, and the World Bank is giving loans to countries to start their nuclear program. So there is nuclear finance. My friend in commerce there can study how to have nuclear finance liability given to different parties, so commerce will become nuclear commerce.
From there, and then you. Done. Okay? Be loud.
So my question is, how far are we from having miniature suns on Earth and generating our own energy?
How
far?
Fusion.
Like what's the time how much time will it take? How many years, or decades, or centuries will it take to reach that point?
Okay, when will the artificial sun be available to you? Is that the question, right? 1955, the famous Indian scientist Dr. Homi Bhabha, addressing the Geneva conference, said, fusion is round the corner in 20 years' time. That was a great physicist's prediction. Unfortunately, the engineering technology did not develop. 1975, we did not get fusion reactors. Then came another wave called cold fusion, another method of doing that. But today, having listened to there are fusion technologies, the consensus is there are no astrologers in fusion technology. They expect this to come around 10 to 15 years. And Aditya, the Indian fusion reactor, will probably be one of the most leading ones. All around the world, all the fusion scientists are working on this, and therefore there is a reasonable prospect of the artificial sun. In fact, there is a claim from China that they have already created it, but I have no verification for that. This is a mature technology. There will be a surprise one day in Times of India, you will read artificial sun born. It's around the corner. Take it as 10 to 15 years. Yeah, nobody is telling. It's a secret one now, everybody. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. What advancements are being made in fuel cycle technology to reduce long-term radioactive waste?
In the nuclear fuel cycle, right from uranium, mining of uranium, to the ultimate disposal of the long-lived waste, we have what is known as spallation reactors, in which the long-lived radioisotopes can be put inside a nuclear reactor, so they will split. That's called a spallation reactor. So if it has 1 million years half-life, and if you put it in a reactor, it can become 10,000 years, 15,000 years. So we can reduce the half-life by nuclear transmutation. That's one way of reducing in the fuel cycle. But no matter what the half-life of the, generally half-life we cannot change. But in a reactor we can have a transmutation process. But ultimately they will be stored in geological formations in borosilicate glass. So that doesn't matter as far as the life of the waste is concerned. So don't worry on that.
Ma'am,
No mic required, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Good afternoon, sir. What should we do when all the resources come to end? Like we don't have much resources like uranium, coal, and all, and we cannot also rely on renewable resources like solar energy, hydroelectric energy, etc. Please elaborate.
Don't worry. The largest element in the universe is hydrogen. Infinite amount of hydrogen. And 13.5 billion years ago, when the Big Bang started, we have the largest quantity of hydrogen. And if you use that hydrogen, the life of the sun is going to be 5 billion years. So you have enough hydrogen to take you beyond the life of the earth itself. So resource is not a constraint as far as fusion reaction is concerned. Yeah, with that we will conclude.
Thank you very much, dear students, for your questions. And yes, very interesting, very informative questions. I really enjoyed that you have a lot of knowledge on the nuclear energy. You have a lot of passion to know something about nuclear energy. Thank you very much for coming. And as always, I would like to say to all of you, please don't forget that Russian people and Indian people are friends till the end of times. And all together we can contribute well to develop Russian and Indian nuclear energy all together. So it will be a really success for us in future. Thank you very much.
thank you, sir. I'd like to thank you, Jadaman sir, for being here, for answering the questions, and thank you all for coming here and showing so much enthusiasm. Now we are at the end of this session. Sir, please have a seat. Let us give a huge round of applause from our end to Jadaman sir, to you. I would like to thank Rosatom and Energy of the Future for sponsoring this event, and all the staffs of Nehru Science Center, Team Nehru Science Center, especially the education team and our technical team. All of you have worked very hard to make this event a successful one. Students, we have another event within some time. By that time, you please go and take your snack box and a small token of appreciation from Nehru Science Center. Please don't rush. Go outside one by one. Collect your goodies and snack box and be back here at the auditorium in 15 minutes. Okay, we have a very beautiful drama, science drama for you. Okay, so please be back here.